Hey everyone, how's it going and welcome back. So I realised the other day that in my previous videos I include little clips of me walking from place to place in the garden, but I haven't actually shown you the whole place. And it's probably kind of hard to imagine where everything is. So today I'm going to do a super quick tour of the garden and show you what it's like at this time of year. So let's start off and we'll go round to the front. So the plot of land we own is just a little under an acre, and a third of that is here in the front garden. So the front garden at the moment is mainly nicely kept lawn, which we do keep mowed for the time being. And then on this side, there's some really lovely ornamental trees. We've got an ornamental crabapple here, and then behind it, we've got 3 really large maples, which I love. Underneath them then, there's just a little bit of underplanting. There's some ferns and some herbaceous perennials. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the camera now, swizzle it over to the other side, and then you can see what that looks like. So on this side of the garden, we've got more trees. We've got 3 absolutely humongous silver birches that just in the last couple of weeks have come into leaf. And then in front of it, we've got a wedding cake tree. This is my all-time favorite tree in the entire world, Cornus controversa variegata. I just think it looks stunning. The leaves are amazing. The growth habit, where it's in these sort of flat layers, I think just looks awesome. And then same as the other side, it's underplanted with ferns and some herbaceous perennials that we'll take a quick look at now. So I'd said that the trees in the front garden are underplanted with a mix of herbaceous perennials and ferns. So here we've got a few clumps of echinops. They're basically like a thistle, except the flower that they send up is this blue, perfect globe flower, which looks incredible, and if I had my choice I'd have it dotted all over the garden. If you watched my video a couple of weeks ago about dividing hostas, it's just as simple to divide these. You can split them into clumps, but these haven't got quite big enough yet for me to do that, but maybe in a couple of years they will do. Underneath the trees we've also got loads of ferns. Now they actually take very little work. About a month ago, once I saw that the fronds were starting to unfurl from this year's growth, I went around and cut off all of the old growth just to give it a really nice tidy up. And actually, I think they're looking pretty good. So the whole perimeter of the garden, front and back, is flanked by these massive hedges. They're brilliant because they give us loads of privacy, but they also shelter the garden, protecting it from some of the worst winds during the autumn and the winter. So that's the front garden. Let's go this way and we'll check out the back garden. So the front lawn is the largest patch of grass that we keep neatly mowed all the time, because to be totally honest with you, I really hate, and I mean hate, cutting grass. So what we've opted for the side of the garden and the rest of the back garden is to go with mown paths instead. Right at the back of the house, we have this huge expanse of grass that runs the entire width of the plot. Now, we haven't really worked out what we're going to do with this yet, so we've decided to stick with the same grass path. And what we've done is we've just run it in a big curving line, and we're going to see how it works out. We've never done anything like this before, so it's a bit of an experiment. But if you've got any ideas or any thoughts, let me know in the comments down below, because it'd be interesting to see what you have to say. So we're going to go this way now and check out the orchard. So this is the orchard, and here we've got 9 old fruit trees. We've got 6 cooking apple trees, 2 red eating apple trees, and 1 pear tree. Now, I don't know exactly how old these trees are. I've got a feeling they're starting to get on in age a little bit. The branches are really gnarled. They're kind of twisted, but they look amazing. They're covered in mosses, they're covered in lichens. Some of them have ivy growing up them. But what they make is just a really nice space to be in, particularly at the moment in the spring when they're covered in apple blossom. So if you've already seen some of my other videos, then you'll know that we only moved in here about 6 months ago. And one of the great things has been discovering all of the plants that we simply didn't know existed, and no more so than here under the apple trees in the orchard. So early on in the spring, and I'm afraid I don't have any video of it, we had really lovely displays of daffodils and snowdrops. They've made way for other plants like these little cowslips and oxlips that really are just finishing up now. But then dotted around elsewhere in the orchard, we've got some really lovely patches of forget-me-nots. Now, I love all of these plants and I want way more of them in this area. So what I'm going to do over the next few months is I'm going to plant some more stuff into here and keep adding to it year on year and hopefully get a bigger and better display. So that's about it for the orchard. So we're going to go back this way and have a quick look at the pond. So this is our pond, and I'm going to keep this section very, very short. The water's a little bit green and murky at the moment, and I'm a bit ashamed of it. But you know what? It doesn't put off the tadpoles. We've got hundreds, if not thousands of them. So we're really happy with that, because what we'd like is a pond that contributes to the nature and the biodiversity of the garden. So it seems to be doing that at the minute. Now, to try and clear up the water, I've been increasing the number of plants that are going in. Recently, I bought a few new ones. They still need to get potted up into their proper aquatic baskets. But once I do, I'll dot them around. The other thing was that we found a couple of old water lilies at the bottom of the pond, which we lifted, divided, replanted, and re-sunk back into the water a couple of days ago. So I'm still just waiting for those leaves to come up to the surface. So that's the pond. On to the veg garden. So this is the vegetable garden, or what I'm calling the vegetable garden, even though there isn't one here at the minute. It's the next big project that I'm going to be undertaking, and I'm hoping to start in the next couple of weeks. The site is perfect for what I want. It's flanked on all sides by hedges, so it makes it nice and sheltered. As well as that, the aspect is south facing, so it gets plenty of sun. It's nice and flat and relatively level, and all of the edges are nice and square. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, and then you can follow my journey as I try and transform this into a proper, productive vegetable garden. And this sits right next to the polytunnel, which is just down here. And on the other side of what's going to be the vegetable garden, it's the polytunnel with my homemade hot composter. And if you watched the video a couple of weeks ago about me planting up strawberries into old dresser drawers, here they are. They're looking well. What do you think? Now, you've pretty much seen all of the garden, but there's one other place that I want to show you, and it's back round at the front of the house. So we're just on the other side of the front garden, which you saw a couple of minutes ago, and through this unassuming little gap in the hedge, we have the final part of the garden that I'm going to show you. This is the secret garden. It's a beautiful private enclosed space surrounded on all sides by big high hedges, and inside it's got some lovely specimen trees, some nice shrubs and some other underplanting like herbaceous perennials. We've got an acer and a hawthorn, we've got a maple, we've got a contorted hazel, and in front of me we've got an absolutely beautiful little small Magnolia Stellata. Now, about 6 weeks ago when this was in full flower, it was absolutely stunning. Now, you may remember from my very first video that I posted, I split hostas and I put them in pots. Well, here's how they're getting on. They're developing really nicely. Now, they're still in pots, but my plan is that I'm going to dot them around this garden just to add some more interest. The final tree that we've got in the garden, which is above me, is a beautiful willow tree, except there's one issue at the moment, which is just finished flowering, and now it's setting seed. And you can probably see in the air, the seed gets everywhere, and I mean everywhere. It's in our pond, it's in the grass, it's even in our flowers. But do you know what? It's worth it. And then just down in the corner here, we have another little pond. So a bit like the pond at the back, this water could do with being a little less green, but it is a lot better. And one of the reasons is that we did a full pond clear out back in February. Now, it's no mean feat, and even for a pond this small, it was an absolutely massive and frankly disgusting smelly job to do, but it's paid off. I bought some more aquatic plants at the same time as the ones that I got for the back pond. I've put them in, and the pond is really starting to take shape, and I'm happy with it. Now, I had actually skimmed the pond so that it would look extra good for the video, but because of the tree above us, there was a big gust of wind, and now it's all covered in seeds again. So that's it for the first ever tour around my garden. Now you know what we've got and where everything is. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting the like button or leaving a comment down below. Subscribe and make sure to hit the bell icon so you're notified when I post my next video. And until next time, see you later.